Making their way towards that Shields finish line. Looks like the 8:52 followed by the 9:36. That's going to be Hayes followed by Madden. Lena on that 3 spot, getting turned back around. Heading back for round number 2. 3-year-old balance bikes. Logan Bena, Daxter Finley, Gunnison Beaudry, Weston Peterson, Myron Longoria. They're off and running, making their way towards that Shields finish line. Looks like Longoria is going to come across on the 744, followed by the 129 of Weston. 762 of Gunnison, 853 of Daxter. Logan Bena making his way towards the Shields finish line. Going to cross that. Head back for round number 2. 1- and 2-year-old balance bikes getting ready. Gannon, Barrett, Colson, Ryder, Lila. One- and 2-year-old balance bikes making their way towards that Shields finish line. Missed some of the numbers on that plate. I know the 965. Ryder's going to grab that 2 spot. 712 is going to grab that 3 spot. That's Barrett. Barrett's first night joining us. Same with Gunnison and the 3-year-old balance bikes. Comes the 984, Lila. She's going to cross that finish line. Five and over balance bikes getting ready back near the start hill. Madden, Hayes, and Elena. They'll go back for round number 2 and 3 on our Striders. All 3 rounds, they race all of them. Be a nice light night of racing. We'll get through this, get everybody home so they can get back to school tomorrow morning. Five and over balance bikes making their way towards the Shields finish line at 8:52 and 9:36. That's going to be Hayes, Madden going 1-2. Elena's going to snag that 3 spot. 3-year-old balance bikes getting lined up. Logan, Daxter, Gunnison, Weston, and Myron. Again, 2 new riders joining us tonight. Couple new riders, Gunnison, Lila, Barrett, all new riders joining us at Red River BMX and Hugo's Raceway. 3-year-old balance bikes heading towards that finish line. Myron, followed by the 129 and the 762. That's going to be Weston and Gunnison. Daxter is going to grab that 4 spot. Logan Bena is going to come across, grab that 5 spot. Crossing the Shields finish line. 1- and 2-year-old balance bikes getting ready. Gannon, Barrett, Colson, Ryder, and Lila. All of our other riders should be heading to staging here in just a couple seconds. Riders, get your helmets on. Start heading towards staging. 1- and 2-year-old balance bikes off and running for round number 2. All these riders, 1- and 2-year-olds, Gannon, Barrett, Colson, Ryder, Lila, all making their way towards that Shields finish line. Little help from some moms out there. Some of those hills can be kind of big, so it's good to have a little help. Lila and Dad both almost going for a ride there. Crossing that Shields finish line. Go back, get them lined back up for the last, third and final round. 5 and over balance bikes getting lined up. Matt and Hayes and Elena. Five and over balance bikes coming back to the line. Looks like the 852, 936, and the 52. That's going to be Hayes, followed by Madden and Elena. They're going to finish up that third round. They're going to come back to the fence, grab their ices as their award for the night. Stephanie has those over by the gate. 3-year-old balance bikes getting lined up, getting ready to hit the track. Logan, Daxter, Gunnison, Weston, and Myron. Here comes a 3-year-old bounce bike, 744, a Myra Lagoria. 762, 129, and 853. It's going to be Gunnison, Weston, Daxter, Logan Bina coming across that finish line. All right, last rack of Striders, 1- and 2-year-old balance bikes hitting the track. Gannon, Barrett, Colson, Ryder, and Lila. Great to see a bunch of new faces joining us here at Red River BMX. All those Striders coming back towards the finish line. 712, Barrett's going to grab your 1 this round. I believe that missed the second place rider. 965 is going to grab that 3. That's Ryder. Nick LeBlanc, DQ'd coming across the finish line. Here comes Lila coming across the finish line as well. All right, all of our Striders. Let's make some noise for our Strider riders doing a great job. Good to see so many new faces. They'll come over, grab their ices for the night as their award. Get going with our cruisers here in just a minute. Give our Striders a few minutes to clear the track. Get all the volunteers out there as well. 17, 20-year-old cruisers, Remington, Braun, Graham, Burke, Caitlin, Kavorak. Gate drops on our cruiser class. Kavorak, Burke, Braun racing into turn number 1. Kavorak out front, Burke in the 2, Braun in that 3 spot. Just a huge thank you to all of our volunteers. Couple inches of rain last night, still out here racing today. Got a little sun, got a little wind. It's a tribute to all of our volunteers getting that track surface dialed in all year long, getting lots of glue on it. It seals it up tight. Appreciate all of our volunteers helping us out every single night, trying to get track ready. Coming back towards the finish line. Looks like it's going to be Burke, Kavorak, Braun, 1, 2, 3. All right. tonight. 6-year-old novice, 5-year-old novices all on the gate. Zelly Braun, Stetson Tweeten, Landon Magnuson, Nora Jones, Arden Irwin, Bryson Smith. Gate drops. All those riders making their way down that first straightaway into turn number 1. Battles on. Nora Jones, hole shot into turn 1. She's fired up tonight. Looks like she's going to take that lead. Almost lost Mr. Irwin there. We're going to take 2 of these riders, move them on to our main event after the first round. Nora's still out front. Battle's going to be on for that 2 transfer spot as they make their way through that rhythm section. 9-year-old novices in the gate. Corbin Irwin, Hudson Everett, Ethan Hansen, all racing total points. Battles on, coming down the last straightaway. 2 riders moving on to the main event. Looks like Irwin's going to take over that 1. Battle might be on for that 2 spot, coming back towards that Shields finish line. Looks like Nora Jones going to hold on for that 2nd and final transfer. Zelly just going to come up a couple inches short. Irwin and Jones going to move on to our main event out of round number 1. 9-year-old novices on the track right now. Irwin, Every, Hansen. Looks like Irwin's out front. Hansen's in the 2. Every's in that 3 spot. Racing total points. 26, 35-year-old novices in the gate. Martin, Magnuson, Byron, Leaney, Redmond, and Irwin. Come back towards the line. Irwin, Hansen, and Every 1, 2, 3 is how they cross the finish line. 26, 35-year-old novice is on the track. Redmond taking the low way around. Leaney looking for a way around. Coming into turn number 2. 2 riders moving on to our main event out of this group. Byron's in the 3, Magnus in the 4, Irwin at 5. Martin joining us from Indiana tonight, testing out the track, seeing what it's all about. 7-year-old intermediates in the gate. Mason Tweeten, Paxton Schmidt, Liam Bina. Come back to line. Looks like Redmond and Leaney 1, 2. They'll get your 2 transfers out of your 26, 35-year-old novice class. Tweeten, Schmidt, Bina hitting the track. 7-year-old intermediates on the track. Bina's out front. Schmidt's in the 2. Tweeten's in that 3 spot. Racing total points. 10-year-old intermediates in the gate. Camden, Ryder, and Gannon. Ten-year-old intermediates on the track. Braun, Waggle. 1, 2, 3 is how they finish or run into turn number 2. Bina coming across the finish line. Schmidt on that 2. Tweeten on that 3 spot. Battles on through the rhythm section between Ryder and Gannon. Camden's in that 3 spot. 9-year-old experts in the gate. Burke, Redmond, Haig, and Schmidt. Coming it wrong. Ryder's going to grab her 1. Braun, Gannon, your 2. Waggle, your 3. Burke out front. Battles on for that 2. Schmidt, Redmond side by side going into turn number 2. Haig's in that 3 spot. Schmidt holding on to that 2 spot. Oden looking for a way around, making their way to that rhythm section. Side by side battle. 14-year-old experts in the gate. Savannah McCuskey, Hunter Marulis, Desmond Ryder, Nicholas LeBlanc, Bailey Enlow, Carver Braun. Come back to line. Burke's going to grab your 1 transfer out of your 9-year-old expert group. Redmond, Schmidt, Hag, 1, 2, 3. 4 is how they cross the finish line. 14-year-old experts on the track. Enlow out front through round number 1. Maroulis is in the 2. Nick LeBlanc, head of steam, making his way through the rhythm section. See how many of them he can pick off as they come back through the mid-coat turn towards that Shields finish line. 3-way battle. Everybody side by side. Enlow's going to grab your 1. Savannah's going to grab your 2. That'll be your 2 transfers out of your 14-year-old expert. That'll do it for round number 1. We're going to take a quick break. If you haven't swung over Round 2 hitting the track. 17, 20-year-old cruisers, Braun, Burke, Kavorak. Six-year-old novice loading into the gate. Braun, Tweeten, Magnuson, Smith. 3 riders moving on out of your 6-year-old novice group. 17, 20-year-old cruisers. Come back to the line. Burke, Kavorak, Braun, 1, 2, 3 is how they'll cross the Shields finish line. 6-year-old novices hitting the track. Braun, Tweeten, Magnuson, Smith. Smith having a race up an age group in this group. Still making good lap time. Battle's going to be on. 3 riders moving on to the main event out of our 6-year-old novice group. 9-year-old novice racing total points. Moto number 6 loading into the gate. Corbin Irwin, Hudson Every, Ethan Hansen. Magnuson out in front of this one. 3 riders moving on. Braun's in the 2. Tweeten's in that 3. Smith's in that 4. Looking for a wave by Tweeten. Back to the line, looks like Magnuson, followed by Braun. 1 transfer open. Tweeten's going to grab the 1. Nine-year-old novice is on the track. Irwin Every Hansen. Looks like Irwin's out front. Battles on for that 2 between Every and Hansen. Going through turn 3 into that mid-coat turn number 4. 26, 35-year-old novices hitting the track. Martin, Magnuson, Byron, Irwin coming back to the finish line. Looks like Irwin's going to grab that 1 transfer, grab that 1 spot. Every's going to grab her 2. Hansen's going to grab her 3. Looks like Every and Hansen will be tied up for round number 3 in our main event. 2, 3 wide going through turn number 1. In your 26, 35-year-old novice class, Byron out front, Magnuson in the 2. Magnuson taking over that top spot. Irwin in the 3. Martin battling for that last and final transfer spot. 7-year-old intermediates in the gate. Tweeten, Schmidt, Bina. Coming back towards the line, Magnuson, Irwin, Byron, 1, 2, 3. Those 3 riders will move on to the main event. Martin, first night joining us, doing a great job all the way from Indiana. Just missed out on that main event. 7-year-old intermediates on the track. Bina, Schmidt, Tweeten. Bina out front, Schmidt looking for a way around through that rhythm section. Side by side they go. Into turn number 3. See how they come out the other side through that mid-coat turn number 4. 10-year-old intermediates in the gate. Camden Wago, Ryder Braun, Gannon Braun. Coming back towards the line. Looks like Bina, Schmidt, Tweeten, 1, 2, 3. Gannon out in front of this one, trying to tie things up. Braun right on him, waggling that 3 spot. Side by side through the rhythm section. Almost getting together. Side by side coming towards the finish line. Braun followed by Braun. Wago 1, 2, 3. 9-year-old experts hitting the track. Schmidt, Redmond, Hag, 1, 2, 3 is how they run. Coming out of turn number 1. 2 riders moving on to our main event in our 9-year-old expert class. Odin Redmond checking out things behind him. Schmidt's in that second and final transfer spot. Levi trying to get that from him. Make their way through that rhythm section. 14-year-old experts about to hit the track. Marulis, Ryder, LeBlanc, and Braun. Coming back side by side. Looks like Redmond's going to get your first transfer. Schmidt's going to pick up your second transfer. Levi just coming up short, racing some expert riders out there. LeBlanc, Braun side by side through the rhythm section. Hunter's in that third and final transfer. Desmond looking for a way around. Back to the line, Braun. Gonna get one transfer. LeBlanc's gonna get your second transfer. I believe Marulis gonna get your last final transfer. That'll do it for round number 2. Gate drops. 6-year-old novice is hitting the track. Oh, we got one getting a little squirrely, going side by side into turn number 1. Come back to the line. Burke, Kavorak, Braun, 1, 2, 3. Battles on for that one spot, going side by side. Magnuson and Jones side by side into turn number 2. Magnuson with the speed on the outside, battles on for that one, making their way through the rhythm section. Irwin back on that 3 spot, looking for a way around. Braun, Tweeten, all side by side, going through that rhythm section. 9-year-old novice is racing total points. Corbin Irwin, Hudson Everett, Ethan Hansen about to hit the track. Magnuson out front, battles on for that 2 spot between Jones and Irwin. Let's see how they come across that Shields finish line. One rider trying to make it side by side. Looks like it's going to be Jones and Irwin are going to grab the 2 and 3. Braun's going to grab that 4. Tweeten's going to grab that 5 spot. Irwin will get the, Magnuson will get the win out of that group. Looks like we lost one rider down by turn 1. He's back up. Hansen's in the 2. Every's in the 3. Corbin's in that 1 spot. Magnuson, Byron, Leaney, Redmond, Irwin about to hit the track. Coming back to the line, Irwin followed by Hansen. Every 1, 2, 3. Leaney up top, Redmond down low, coming into turn number 2. Looks like they're going to swap positions there. Cut under, make their way through that rhythm section. Magnuson's in that 3 spot. Side by side through the rhythm section. 7-year-old intermediates hitting the track. Tweeten, Schmidt, Bina. Coming back towards the finish line. Looks like it's going to be Leaney's going to grab your 1, Redmond your 2. Great race between those 2 riders. Magnuson's going to grab your 3 spot. Irwin your 4, Byron your 5. 7-year-old intermediates on the track. Schmidt out front, Bina's in the 2, Tweeten's in that 3. Ten-year-old intermediates in the gate. Waggle, Braun. Braun, no relation there. Gannon. Ryder. Come back to line. Bina followed by Schmidt. Good race between those 2 riders, battling hard. Tweeten's going to grab that 3 spot. Gannon out front. Ryder in the 2. Waggle in that 3 spot. 9-year-old experts about to hit the track. Burke, Redmond, Schmidt. Oh, we almost lost one rider there. Getting together. Coming out of the last straightaway. Brown's going to get your 1 this time. Ryder Brown's going to grab your 2 this time. Waggle's going to grab your 3. See how those points shake out at the end of this thing. Burke, Redmond, Schmidt, 1, 2, 3 is how they run, how they cross, how they're going to finish in this one. 14-year-old experts in the gate. McCuskey, Maroulis, LeBlanc, Enlow, and Braun. Back to the finish line. Burke's going to grab your 1. Redmond, your 2. Looks like we got maybe a pump race going on. This one, Schmidt's going to grab your 3. Enlow out front. Braun in the 2. Savannah in that 3 spot. Maroulis, LeBlanc. Pump race through the rhythm section. back to the line. We'll see how this one finishes up as they make their way through. Braun, Enlow, McCuskey, 1, 2, 3. LeBlanc on your 4. Maroulis on your 5. That'll do it for racing tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us. Thanks to all of our volunteers helping us out tonight. Leave the track open for a little bit here. We'll get awards handed out. We will be posting our fall schedule shortly.